Well, hello, you wonderful soul, and thanks very much for checking out this cheeky Song of the Week number 49 deep dive in and around the artist of choice in this moment, which is Baby Bugs from America. So it's been an awesome day. Been up since whenever I got up and had a little connection with Radio Co. And we'll be up again at 4:55 tomorrow morning to connect with them again, to get the last part of the process done when it comes to the brand new app. And what was that radio app version 2.0? Yes! This has been literally 10 months in the making. And hopefully by this time next week, when I get about filming the Song of the Week number 50 choice, those new apps will be out there. And they won't just be a listen to the station, see the last 20 songs played, check out the website. It will be everything. What was that radio in one awesome app? And a massive thank you again to Radio Co's belief and in creating it for me and saving me thousands upon thousands of dollars. Links to all the blogs of the website will be there. The ability to watch live streams, to watch podcasts, to listen to podcasts, to dive into performer shows if you're a subscriber. Everything you can imagine and more. Send voice notes, message me through Telegram or WhatsApp or text, email. Everything will be in it. And I cannot wait for this next step of What Was That Radio, because then I will start to do some shrewd advertising and spread the word. A massive thank you, actually. Let me just open up my Patreon here, to the 5 of you that have moved across to Patreon from PayPal this week alone. So Mr. Malcolm Owen Flood, I appreciate and love you. Sarah Fletcher, Courtney Swagger. Courtney, lots of love to you and the fam. James Bridge, and also Nadia. Couple of the century. Thank you both. And Jackson from down in Texas, joining for the first time and becoming part of this What Was That Was a community. A massive thank you to you all for doing that. I have been reaching out to those on PayPal to suggest they switch to Patreon, because you will get all the content right in your inbox, guaranteed, not going into a flipping junk mail situation like with MailChimp. And so in a nutshell, boom, that's my 2-minute opening. New app, Patreon, thank you. Let's get involved in some Baby Bugs from America. All right, let's go to watching. Let's dive into the website here. What was that, radio.com? Yes. Oh, this is a little thing I've adjusted recently. I'll zoom it in a bit, Steve. Let's get to that 200%, shall we? Man, it's big. What was John's shows and content? Instead of just having when the shows are and seeing 2 or 3 things, now I just wanted people to realize that I'm churning out at least 6 days worth of content a week. I mean, last week alone, there was 10 different pieces of content, amassing to over 22 hours of listening or watching time. So it's usually an average of about 10 to 20 hours a week of content that I'm throwing your way. I know from our Was a Get Together and Hang on the old Zoom this past weekend, and speaking with those involved, in particular Victoria, saying, I haven't got the time to get into all of this. That's just the point. The point is that there's so much content, you can pick the direction that's best for you. Just listening and discovering without having to do anything, or watching and discovering, watching for a laugh, so on and so forth, diving into the playlists, whatever it might be. This is a one-stop shop of all things modern rock. Okay, so we're going to go to the music portal. We're going to go to Song of the Week. There's Baby Bugs. Boom. It's so big when it's zoomed in like this. Into the portal. Paps from Germany last week. Chase the Bear from Vancouver 2 weeks back. Nashville's Mercury 3 weeks ago. Aaron Jones from Seattle. Right. Hail the Void down here from flipping Vancouver Island. Sophisticated Dingo, who just released a new single today out of Australia. But we're going to go into Baby Bugs. And my first thoughts as I write here, boom. When I discovered Baby Bugs, do I need to zoom it in a little bit more? My God, it bumped us right down there. Can you see? How's that? That looks good. My first thoughts when I discovered Baby Bugs a few months ago were urgent, compelling, thought-provoking, and lots of distortion. My mind initially goes into note form. Damn. I like a lot. This is my kind of rock and roll I write. Attitude and energy that won't back down. Bowie uses Baby Bugs as a vessel of release and growth. Did I spell vessel right with 2 L's and 2 S's? No, it's 1 L. I'll correct that in due course. A vessel of release and growth, pride and punch. I'll loop back round to explain the pride and punch. When they originally started releasing music, it connected with millions and encouraged Bowie to continue to write and release their emotions. Genesis is one of my favorite records of the year. And while it packs that punch on the whole, as we go back to the packing, the punching, it has moments of tenderness that juxtapose so brilliantly with the rampant energy on the record throughout it. So before we get to the context about I Told You So, let's look a little bit further and deeper into the formation of Baby Bugs, because the very first single that was released and got over, at this point, 5 million plays and spins and statistics alone on the old Spotify streaming service was Hey Bunny. So I'm pretty sure there's a music video of that. Let's go and dive in. Baby Bugs, Hey Bunny. Yes, 167,000 views on the old YouTube.
Hey bunny, please grab that knife right there. Take it to the playground and the fair. Hey bunny, don't you wanna rip off your fingernails? Let the maggots feast while you rot in jail. Hey bunny, what the hell is wrong with eyes? I wanna scratch myself with infected. Hey bunny, what if I lose you too? If we become one monster, together we can always be blue.
It's dark, it's macabre, it's brilliant. That gentle voice against those lyrics that are like, oh, I think there's some darkness going on here. Obviously the artwork is a bunny with a cleaver and sort of inspired by, what's that game that Harley plays all the time? Among Us, is it? Where you got to try and... Anyway, it's over. But this is the song that really exploded very quickly within a few months. A couple million streams. That's the word I was looking for not too long ago. First time we've used a rim shot in this video today. I've got a tired end of day brain, but it's in a great spot. Oh, we went for a walk around Durant's Lake. Let's focus on the task at hand here. We've got an old eagle feather that we found. Harley caught like 10, 15 lizards as always. But to focus on baby bugs here. You can hear the pureness in this performance. You can hear the authenticity in this performance. Just the guitar and Bowie's voice. And they are very enigmatic. And that energy is what shines through this and I think sticks out so much. It's not that we've never heard a song that's sort of cheekily dark and simple. Hey There Delilah. Can you imagine Baby Bugs doing a version of Hey There Delilah but involving a bunny that gets decapitated? That's where my mind's going in this moment as they play Minecraft in the kitchen. So let's keep listening.
Hey bunny, what's with those evil eyes? Bloodshot and crying from pesticides. Hey bunny, sorry to bother you, but I think if you're bunny, then I'm bunny too. Hey bunny, what the hell is wrong with eyes? I wanna scratch myself with infected eyes. Hey bunny.
And this is what's so good about Bowie, that they have the ability to seamlessly go between this gentle yet haunting, stunning vocal and then be surrounded by a wall of distortion that we're going to get to shortly. And in both settings is compelling and is it's just a really, really talented vocalist performer. Just a really talented human specimen, to be clear, because the vocals ain't all that Bowie's got to offer. It's the songwriting, the multi-instrumentation, the band that they've built around them. So the next main single that went absolutely skyrocketed was Little Jars of Blood. Little Jars of Blood, 114,000 here. You can hear that DIY recording style here. Bowie, I'm hopefully going to speak to Bowie in the not too distant future. And I'm really intrigued. This sounds like guitar into DI or electric acoustic guitar straight into the old computer and let's go. And it's that warmth, I think, that for me drew me in. Is there was clearly a DIY aspect, but it's not shoddy production at all by any means. But it's that DIY aspect that has really exemplified my excitement for modern rock and modern punk in the last couple of years since the lockdowns and the pandemic, is all these artists feeling that I couldn't afford to do this shit in the first place, but now I'm going to find a way to do it myself the best I can. Lean into the school of the internet and YouTube tutorials, find out how I can do this myself. And in turn, it's creating that authenticity around the performer. Yes, there's performers that maybe there are songs that don't quite work out they could do with that helping hand, but then in the ones that stick out, like Baby Bugs for me, and thinking of other bands like Kikapichi that did all their own stuff in the early stages of the pandemic as well, there's many. The tasers out of South Africa. It's that authentic soundscaping and sound and composition that stands out in how they've captured it as well, and it draws me in. I'm like, okay, this isn't just polished. It's going to be like every other song. Immediately, the landscape of the tones of that thickness of the guitar, the low end on this guitar, I'm like, I'm interested, because it says to me that there's not $1 million production play going on here. And that's said respectfully, if that makes sense. Purist. I'm a purist. We can get really in depth and we can go crazy production. I love that kind of stuff too. But I need the initial hook. And this allows that space, that breathiness, that air with what Baby Bugs has done in their workings to draw people in. Drew me in. Won't speak for you.
It's not easy being me, a vampire no one wants to see.
Like, these just sound like an SM58 and an electroacoustic guitar into a 2-channel mixer, USB connected to the computer. Let's go. And how good does Bowie sound?
The witching hour strikes and you're tired of these long nights. Oh, I'm sorry, let me bow and make it up to you.
Incredible control. Let's skip halfway through.
With you.
To the same phrase.
And your skin makes me melt, so I might have to take it. Let me pull apart your arms and legs and hide you in my basement when delusion overwhelms me with the skeletons in your closet. Oh, I'll bury all that I have of you so that no one else can find it, and I can kiss your lips when you're still and unconscious, and I'll keep your blood in little jars and I'll hang them from a necklace. Though delusion overwhelms me, I know that.
When that No Delusion was sung at the end there, for me, Bowie sings mainly, pushes the air mainly from the nose and the top of the mouth, sort of top of the lungs out, and it gives that sort of cheeky, innocent energy to the delivery. But then you'll notice at the end of that phrase, taking the breath in, it became a bit more mid and lower. And it added a different energy to it altogether. Let me just play that again.
I'll hang them from a necklace, though delusion overwhelms me.
Just that one moment. And these are the little intricacies and nuances that I adore in music. And imagine, we're going to hear it in a second, when Bowie goes into a different setting where, okay, now I've got electric guitar. Now I've got band around me going nuts. And I'm going to put a bit more oxygen out of the lungs and just wail. What can't Bowie do vocally? There is a great range. There is a great power when needed. But there's also that cute, let me bring you in, tell you a horror story. And you think this is a love song, but really I'm going to pull all your limbs off and store you in the basement, because that's the kind of love I'm into. Like, it's just really, really good.
Know that now I've got it. Oh, I buried all that I had of you, and I'll die right beside it.
I have to ask Bowie what they've been watching on the old Netflix last little while. If they watch the same murder documentaries that Jodie and I do when Harley's in bed at night. All right, Little Jars of Blood. We've got into that. Baby Teeth. Maybe let's check out a bit of Baby's Teeth. And then we'll jump into the new album. This is great. This is like having a Zoom recorder in the jam room and just putting it down in the corner furthest away from the drum kit and saying, we're recording an EP tonight. Let's go.
Lollipops and cotton candy, it's all I wanna eat. To keep myself thinking I'm healthy like I
This sounds live off the floor to me. This sounds like it's captured in one go.
deserve to be. The doctors never really listen to what I have to say. Brush your teeth, the stupid gum in your teeth will fall out one day. And my gums are splitting and my teeth turn brown.
And why I'm showing you this is because this is going to show the evolution in the last 18, 24 months here of Bowie. In come a band around them, and I'm guessing this is definitely live off the floor because the vocals, some frequencies are just battling the rest of the instrumentation around them in the sonic field. But this still has that vocal that's sort of cute and gentle and leading you down a dangerous path without being aware of it. And what we're going to get to with Genesis is where that extra level of lung capacity has been discovered, and the depth in the vocal and the anger and the passion in the vocal that arises. The journey of Baby Bugs' music is just brilliant. But I'll play a little bit more of this and we'll jump into Genesis, the debut album, the latest offering.
I'll reach my hand with mine now. I like the taste of blood, so salty and sweet. I can't wait to live out all my babies.
All right, now let's jump into Genesis. We'll go to the album opener. Autotheist. Am I saying that right? I have to look that up myself now. My tired brain is like, what is that word? No. I'm just going to do this and say, how do you say it? Pronounce. Thank you, Google. Yeah.
Autotheist.
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 Autotheist. What does that mean? The doctrine of the self-existence of God. The doctrine that Christ is the self-existent God himself. Dedication of oneself, self-worship. Worship. Okay, all right. I tell you right now that Bowie is not a believer in God. Right, there's that extra power, that extra gear that Bowie's found in jumping up that octave. If there was a God, just like the power. Oh man, I'm so excited for the development and the growth and the continuation of release of this artwork because it's really flipping good. Good, okay. Right, let's do a little bit of track 2, Pretty For You. And this is what I said back here. We go back into here. Moments of tender to juxtopose. Did I spell that wrong as well? No. Anyway, the contrast between the two, right? We start off with that God. Come on, God, get a grip. Okay, give me your powers and I'll deal with these specimens we call humans. And then it immediately jumps into this more gentle, Pretty For You, and then ramps back up with Cinnaholic, Dress Up Doll. Okay. Here, take this maggot-infested heart and love me.
I never wanted you to notice. It's much too hard to mention.
So after being just smashed in the opening song, now tender, it's like Baby Bugs and Bowie, they've just put up a stool right by you on the couch. Let me tell you a little song about the time I thought you did me wrong. I'm going to take your eyes and you despise what I do with your body to... I don't know, let's just get back to this.
But my broken heart broke again when I lost your attention.
Don't break her heart.
I realized no amount of sweet perfume could
Their heart, pardon me, Bowie,
do the trick. So I shaved my legs, I shaved everywhere that I hoped you would kiss. And now I'm just another pretty face like the ones you see all day. Now I'm just something to chase to pass the time away. If you don't want me for my hair, the way I talk, the shit I wear, the pearls around my neck I wore for you.
It's just so good. The world-class performer just ready right now to just take the world by storm. Right, let's jump to... Did I play Cinnaholic, a sample of that for you yet? It's hard not to play the whole record, to be honest. Track 3, right? We've gone bam, chill out. Let me make this very clear. I'm a little bit psycho. Now let's go bam again.
The funny joke that I said, my mind's not right in bed. And I'm really sorry that I lied to you on the phone, but I hate when you're out alone. Are you remember to send pictures to me? Come on, take that skirt, doesn't let me see. I need to remember I'm fucking like you again. And I know that's so much, so give me this. I don't wanna hug or fucking kiss you. Lucky that I even keep you around. And if I had one wish, if I give you me to fall in love. But you talk so fucking much on the people you're not close. And I know what you want and I'll keep on giving in. 'Cause the only
It's just electrifying, this record. I got to play just another one before we get to it. Cannibal Girlfriend. Yeah, here we go. Official video. Baby Bugs. Cannibal Girlfriend.
walking home on a Saturday night, I saw her standing under the light, dark hair and eyes to match her sin. I said, baby, why are you all alone? I offered her a nice ride home, but she said that she'd rather spend the night with me. But she kept me up till dawn. I didn't know.
Just a quick shout out to the bass player, who is ferocious and fierce every time. Just the staring into the camera and into our souls is on point. Chef's kiss.
It's been so long. An hour with her feels just like a second. But she put me in a trance.
Oh my God. Take my wallet, take my soul, and don't look back. You could just stroll away. I won't chase you. You should just do what you got to do.
When she began to dance and I didn't stop her from biting me. Cannibal girlfriend, she really tore me apart. Cannibal girlfriend, she liked the taste of my heart. Cannibal girlfriend, at night she feeds. Cannibal girlfriend, and she's all I need, yeah.
I honestly, I get major Guitar Hero vibes from half a lifetime ago, and just so many of these seem like instant classics to me, these songs. The melodies, the composition, the arrangement, there's a familiarity with it, and that familiarity coupled with the passion and authenticity of the sharing that Bowie is doing is just a brilliant songwriter. I just picture me like rocking out to these on Guitar Hero, and there'd be lots of like, oh, you lost your staff power build up, but there's just something very special about how familiar these songs sound, but yet still, you know, it's Baby Bugs. And something I talk about a lot is when, from bands I used to be in and from bands that I adore and bands that you adore as well, there's something about them that you can't put your finger on, but you know that's insert band name here. And Baby Bugs has got that. I mean, Bowie's voice being the prominent and main reason why, you just know it's Baby Bugs. So good. And if you don't, you deep dive and then you know very quickly, like, okay.
When she's hungry, I offer my flesh. I couldn't care about the rest. friends say that she's no good for me. But I could never think they're right. I want to spend my whole life with my cannibal girlfriend for me. And she loves the taste of my blood. I supply all that she loves. I don't want anyone, she's all I need.
Just so good. All right, let's get to the song in question. Song of the week choice number 49 is Baby Bugs, But I Told You So. I messaged Bowie on Instagram and they said, quote, I told you so is about a few different things, but the overall message I wanted to get across was a big fuck you. Let me hold the quote there, because Harley, who's 8 years old, he knows what bad language is and he knows not to use it. I'm being respectful of the friend he's connected with on FaceTime right now and playing some Roblox or Minecraft. So it's a big you to corrupt systems, to continue Bowie's quote, and leaders of governments who care more about money and power than human lives. It is incredibly scary to live in a world where these people can make such big decisions for so many people. If we ignore these problems, they will only worsen. It became a much more impactful song for me when I heard the news of Roe Vs Wade getting overturned, which is devastating for so many people. I Told You So is a song to remind everyone to keep fighting for your rights and to keep being true to yourself. End quote, Bowie. This is a short blast of urgent, rampant passion. It's 1 minute and 15, so I'm not going to interrupt it. We're going to play it full, just full through the whole way, mate. Now let's tear this thing apart. Let's go through drums. What I love about the mix in this song is that the cymbals at times, they seem like they've all the frequency of the cymbals and the way it's been captured and the way it's been mixed and produced leads you to believe that maybe there's one giant cymbal in the middle of a room and 38 sticks are smacking the hell out of it. I love how it just holds its place in the mix, but it cuts through. Obviously, there's a ride and there's two crashes and there's a hi-hat. Or maybe there's just a hi-hat, a crash, and a ride. Maybe there's just two crashes and a ride. Maybe there's nothing that I'm saying at all. And it is just one giant and then 30 people with with a couple of drums. Anyway, I love that in the middle of the mix there, it just has that urgency and that, oh my God, this sort of trashy and thrashy sound that allows the rest of the mix to be built around it. That bass player, it's like he's just fighting to breathe. Fighting, let me just get in the mix, let me just get over here. But like the low end is there, you know it's there, but it's pronunciation of the notes that aren't quite, they cut through in moments because everything is just fighting. Is this a live off the floor situation as well, sonic band wise? And then Bowie's done the vocals separately or in a different booth compared to the rest of the band, because it's not as big a fight when you listen to that layer of the vocal. Right, you hear how all those cymbals just sound so messy, but in a glorious way, in a really captivating and on the edge of your seat. Oh, are you gonna turn this up at your own peril? But you need to turn it up. And the guitar, the lead guitar, and the guitar works. All of them, guitars and bass, are all in and around that same mid-range, just that thick texture with that urgent distortion on it. That just, again, is like, come at us. If we've got a message for you, and it's not going to be an easy one to hear, okay? But focus, and whilst you focus on what Bowie is telling you, be aware of the fact that a guitar might come around and crack you around the skull. Just be careful of that. This is go, go, go. And I love that the breaths have been left in on Bowie's vocal. leaving that urgency in it, right? There can be a too perfect a mix. I believe when you remove that, it's like the YouTube videos. This is exactly why I don't do these big edits. I hit record and I go. You get me in this moment of half an hour in this case, and all in between. Fart brain moments, great eloquent moments, whatever it might be. You know, after you leave this, you've got a good impression of how I go about things and how I've been today. And in this mood, this sort of really awesome, great week so far, tired in a wonderful, warm way. Let's just get a bit passionate about baby bugs, right? Well, I'm half asleep, but half awake. Here we go. And when you remove those things and you go for too perfect, for me, I disconnect personally. I mean, loads of people connect for different reasons, but I'm speaking about me. When you remove those breaths from a mix, for me, I'm like, I don't know if I believe you now. Now it feels to me like you've just recorded each line or each word and tried to stitch it together to make it perfect. I like the one takes. I like the live with the floor takes that you can use as a foundation to build around. I'm not saying that that's the only way you're going to do it to make me go, oh yeah, I like this, but you can feel it. And when you've got a song like this, that's Bowie saying, okay, can we sort this out? Can we stop battling each other and diminishing each other? And can we try and diminish and destroy certain systems that are engaging us to go to war with each other and not against those that are actually impacting people in a painful and negative way, which is the larger systems at play here? It's just brilliant. In that split second, I forgot that we've already listened to the whole song. And I like when you hear in here the cut short some of the words. This might have had a few vocal edits in it, because I thought I heard initially there like I got to cut this to go into the next phrase. Either way, it's that might be let's go from here to there, take a breath. But on the whole, when you hear more so than not, it's just so good. It goes back to what I said here. My kind of rock and roll. First thoughts, urgent, compelling, thought-provoking, and lots of distortion. Yeah. I like that very much. And my friends, that's it. Thank you so much for getting involved in the Song of the Week number 49 video and passionate rundown. Hit record and let's see what happens. Look how much I'm zoomed in here. The website's like, oh my God. That's 100% back to there. All right. Just thank you. Yeah, appreciate it. Appreciate your time as always. And if you are discovering What Was That Radio after this has been made available to patrons, because it's a month later that it then gets shared publicly, and I'll throw it Bowie's direction as well. And maybe even by that point, it's been a conversation with Bowie of Baby Bugs also. If you're discovering What Was That through this video, please consider diving into whatwasthatradio.com. Please consider joining us in the Discord and getting involved in the community chat. We're otherwise known as Wuzzers. And if you want to be extra generous, you could always sign up and subscribe via Patreon and instantly unlock over 1,000 hours of stuff just like this. Like What Was 5, where I go over my 5 favorite modern rock releases of the week every Sunday, the Song of the Weeks, and a hell of a lot of shows as well. In between time stacking produce, and after being in commercial rock radio for 10 years and leaving to push my passions to their absolute limit. That's why and how this station was born in the first place. All right. Whatever you're doing the rest of your day, and as always, please look after yourself. And I hope there's some fun and smiles involved in the rest of it too, because we've got to cherish that positive. For now, thanks again, and cheerio.